Hello, and welcome to StoryJack. If you want practical tips on how to be a better storyteller, then you are at the right place. Today's video is all about how to raise stakes. The Writer's Digest series is where I share with you the narrative nuggets that I have gleaned from my month's worth of media consumption. And this month, I have 2 movies, a video game, and a book. I have Fool, the 2002 Bottle movie. I have Takeout, a low-budget thriller. Lethal Company, a cooperative survival horror game, and The Crossing, a coming-of-age western by McCarthy. Let's start with Fool, about 2 female friends on a climbing trip that goes horribly wrong when they become stranded atop a 2,000-foot abandoned excommunications tower.
Nice.
It's a bottle story, which means characters are stuck in one place and it's all about them having to get out. Once you've waded through the expositional dialogue that's so cringe even a Hallmark Christmas movie would blush,
You have to start living your life again.
you are treated to a legitimate vertigo-inducing thriller, assuming the green screen doesn't take you out of it. The use of practical effects is really impressive, but sometimes the green screen makes it look like something out of Indian TikTok.
My life, my rules, my style.
I'm not one to hold a film's budget against itself, but the colour grading, I haven't seen a piss filter like this since early PS3 days. The lesson to take away from Fool is all about 1 step forward and 2 steps back. They need the phones to call for help, but there's no signal, so they need to drop it off, but it will break, so they put it in a shoe to protect it, but that means it's going to be harder for them to climb. Stakes progress by inching towards a possible solution, only to discover that it's actually inadvertently put themselves back. One practical technique that stood out for me is how in bottle stories can help to make your character get more into the bottle. Becky has to climb to the tippy top of this antenna to let their drone battery recharge, where she hangs about fending off vultures for about 3 hours. It is produced by BuzzFeed, so I mean, the quality of the writing is there. But usually with stories where a character is trapped somewhere, all you're ever thinking about is how to get them out. If you're writing a story where a guy's trapped in a cave, consider having him go farther into the cave. So in bottle movies, you have 2 sources of conflict. You have the external, which is what's physically happening in the disaster zone, and you have the internal, the in-group dynamics. If you've ever seen a zombie movie, then you're fully aware about how some of the drama is going to come from the characters falling out. Becky finds out that her late husband was having an affair with her cohort, and there's a point where Becky must pull up her friend so that she can save her and the bag with all their water and their phones, etc. In another story, this could have been played for her to consider dropping her friend.
My life, my rules, my style.
You don't have to do that, of course, but it's always quite nice to think that a character might do something to benefit their internal conflict at the cost of making everything worse on the outside. Next, we have the 2003 video game Lethal Company, where 4 players work cooperatively as intergalactic garbage collectors to salvage scrap on moons infested with hostile creatures.
Apparently this bridge collapses at some point. Did you know that?
No.
Fool is all about how characters resourcefully adapt to an unexpected event,
Nice.
but Lethal Company is all about how characters plan for danger.
Oh shit, I'm dead. Oh, he's dead already.
Every player has 4 slots, and each slot is used to carry something. That can be treasure or it can be equipment. Every decision you do has a trade-off. Taking a flashlight makes it easier to explore dark corridors, but means you carry less loot. Having someone on the ship to direct you gives you more intel, but less people to explore. Walkie-talkies help you communicate, but can alert monsters that are sensitive to sound. If you take a weapon, you lose a slot to carry stuff. The more treasure you carry, the slower you are at running, which is going to be important when the clock is ticking and the ship is going to leave at sundown when all the nasty monsters come out.
Open the door. Open the door! Oh god!
No team of garbage collectors is going to have the perfect balanced equipment. There's always going to be a trade-off. So if you're writing a story, you can basically decide what happens by invoking the blind spots, right?
What do you do with the mask? Is it like bad mask?
Oh, if you hold it, it'll jump on your face and then you'll start murdering us. Oh, you dickhead! Oh, you dickhead! Oh, you dickhead! Ah! Sam, Jason's fucking possessed. He put the bloody.
What does that mean?
He's got the mask on. He'll try and strangle you. So we need to fucking leave him. Leave him.
Fuck, he's after me!
Run! Oh no, he's eating your face. Oh, now you're both. Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
I guess structurally, you could view Lethal Company as a cabin in the woods story. You have characters who go to an isolated, desolate place, and they get killed off one by one, and it's all down to the last one to save the day. By the way, I know this is a bit cringe, but actually liking and subscribing does help the channel, so please do that right now. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Takeout, a 2004 low-budget movie by Sean Baker. It's about Ming, who is an illegal immigrant and delivery boy for a Chinese restaurant. He has until the end of his shift to come up with the money to pay off the debt for the smugglers who brought him into the country. Any story that starts with someone being told, give us money by X amount of time or we break your legs, it's very clear. You're in it from the get-go. Simple consequences are dramatic enough. You don't always need the raising of the stakes to be this really convoluted rug pull. Sometimes the most reliable ways are to explore the things we expect to happen.
My life, my rules.
Any story that has someone needing to pay off a debt is going to have that moment where they get all the money but get robbed or lose it right before they're about to pay the person off. I don't think that's the same as being predictable. I think predictable is knowing how something is going to happen.
Damn, son. Damn, yo. How much is in this shit?
By having this ticking clock throughout, it means then the raising the stakes doesn't feel like the kind of valleys and peaks of some adrenaline rush. It becomes this very steady climb, as if you're in a boat and it's slowly sinking. Every second that is wasted on a delivery is something that Ming knows could affect whether or not these smugglers are going to kill him. Anytime a customer is late opening the door, anytime a customer decides not to tip him. There's even a moment where an order is wrong and he has to waste time going back to the restaurant to fix it.
I ordered beef. Give me my 10 back. Give me my money back. $10. Give me my money back. Beef? Here, come here.
That means then, even though the action he needs to do is the same, which is
deliver stuff and get tips,
there's an infinite amount of tiny little upsets that will have a devastating consequence, because you're always coming back to this very lean premise of give me the money or I break your legs. Finally, we have a 1994 novel by McCarthy called The Crossing. So this is a coming-of-age western set in roughly the 1940s between America and Mexico, where young Billy initially crosses the border to release a pregnant wolf back into the wilds of Mexico, but throughout the book he kind of comes back and forth for a variety of personal vendettas. Cool. Being as a Western, you can imagine there's a lot of moments where he's up against nature, right? He has the elements to fend against. There are robbers, there are shootouts, etc. There are lots of things going on that are life and death situations. However, for me, one of the moments where I went, oh my god, the stakes have been really raised, is near the end of the story. Spoiler alert! He is transporting his brother's remains back to America. En route, he encounters some gypsies who are bringing back a crashed plane down from the mountains, having been hired to do so. The plane belonged to the son of a wealthy man, and this guy basically wants to salvage the plane so he has his son's coffin. But then they go, and a bit later on, Billy meets the guy who indeed paid these gypsies. But it turns out, no, he wasn't paying the gypsies to get this plane because his son died in a plane crash. He just wants this plane. Those gypsies are making stuff up. Now, in the book, it is clear that the body is actually his brother's, or at least that was my reading of it. This book took me a long time to read, and I'm glad to say that apparently I'm not the only one. Many people have said it's a bit of a slog. But reading that was a little bit of a Sixth Sense plot twist for me, because I was thinking, man, he's risked so much, he's almost been killed by these robbers, he's done everything he can to bring back this corpse, and for all he knows, it might not even be his brother. David Mamet talks about this in 3 Uses of the Knife.
Intellectual, which is to say dickhead.
A good story will have a moment where a writer legitimately realizes they were operating under a false preconception, and that if the writer goes through that process of figuring out what it is that they misinterpreted, then the character will do that and the audience will do that. And that's the difference between having a legitimate twist and having something contrived. They say M. Night Shyamalan had to write 6 versions of The Sixth Sense before he realized that Bruce Willis was actually dead all along. I know that's a spoiler, but come on, it's been out 25 years, there's no excuse at this point. So that's me done for today. Do subscribe, because I've got some cool videos coming out when I finally get around to editing them.
You are life.
And I will see you next time.
Right, let's not get cocky on the next map, chaps, just because we absolutely pumped that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shut up.